Are you curious where scammers and cybercriminals get the information they use to target people? Do you realize how easy it is to gather data about you? This video will cover the three main sources cybercriminals use and what you can do to minimize your chance of becoming a victim. The first source criminals go to for personal information is data brokers. This is the fastest but most expensive method. Data brokers are companies that collect, aggregate, and sell consumer data. Your data. The most sophisticated data brokers have more than 1,000 data points on each person. They don't just know your name, age, and address. They also know your political preferences, interests, income, net worth, search history, and plenty of other things you might not feel comfortable being public. They then sell data to anyone willing to pay. For example, marketers at Fortune 500 companies are among their customers, but the less reputable data brokers will sell your data to anyone, even to people with harmful motives. The next source cybercriminals go to is people search websites. This method is easy and free, or only costs a few dollars. People search websites have information on the vast majority of adults in the US. Some of the most thorough free people search sites are True People Search, Noomber, and My Life, but there are hundreds of them out there. People search sites share names, addresses, phone numbers, and often the names of your relatives. A paid report will show even more, including things like arrest records, court records, and other potential embarrassing information. Usually all they need to look you up is your first and last names and the state where you live. The last place cybercriminals look to get your data is from data breaches or leaks. This method is free, but usually takes some sophistication. Once a company's leaked data is shared somewhere online, it is copied and shared until, unfortunately, all the data is basically public information. This data can be found on the dark web and in some places on the normal internet. Pretty much all US adults have been in at least a few leaks or breaches. This will likely continue going forward. So, what can you do about it? Once your personal information is in a breach or leak, it is impossible to get that data back. You can change your passwords and monitor your accounts for any suspicious activity, but you can't undo leaked data. You can take actions now that will make breaches less damaging for you. The first step is to make sure you use a different username and password for every account you have. Cybercriminals try leaked login information on hundreds of sites to see if they can hack any of your other accounts. If your login is unique to every account, you protect all your other accounts from this type of attack. Another step you can take to protect yourself is to use alias information when possible. For example, Netflix and Spotify don't need to know your real address or name. And when, not if, a company you can have an account with has a breach, you won't care because they don't have your real information anyway. Finally, for data brokers and people search websites, it is possible to request that they remove any data they have on you. The problem with this is that it can be a hassle to go to each site when there are hundreds, and one after the other request removal for your information. Instead, you can use a data removal service like My Data Removal, and they will remove your information from these sites for you. It is effective and efficient. In addition, they will check every month to make sure your information doesn't pop back up on the sites. It is easier than you might realize for criminals and scammers to get information about you. But the good news is that you can do something about it. Take action today to reduce the amount of information that can be found about you on the internet, and sleep easier at night, knowing you are no longer an easy target.